Hi, it's Dean Cardinale, and thank you for watching the Worldwide Trekking YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about Mount Everest Base Camp and how to stay healthy on your Mount Everest Base Camp trek, which is really important to do. It's a long distance trek. It's multiple days. You're traveling over to a foreign country like Nepal, where there are things to think about to stay healthy. So I'm going to go over the pre-trip stuff. I'm going to go over about staying healthy for your flight in Kathmandu and when you're on the trek during your trek. So the first thing would be pre-trip. A good thing to think about and do for your Everest Base Camp trek is to make sure that you're training and you're feeling physically fit. Super important. The more that you do your training routine, the more that you prepare for your trip, one, you're going to be more healthy just because you're going to be feeling fit, but two, you're going to be less stressed about the trip. You're going to feel like you're putting the time in. Stress can also be hard on our body in so many ways. So we don't want to feel stressed. We want to be getting good rest, and we want to be feeling comfortable and confident prior to our trip. So by training, getting in a good fitness routine, doing that, starting a few months prior to your trip. I always tell people, sign up for the trip, get ready to go, tell all your friends, and make something that you're proud of, something that you're excited about doing, not something that you're stressed about and feeling a lot of anxiety. Prior to the trip, the couple days before you do your flight, it's important to make sure that you're hydrating. Hydration will be a major key throughout this whole journey, and the flights over are long to Nepal from the United States. You're in the air for long periods of time, longer than most people have ever flown, about as long a flights as you could possibly take. And hydrating before you go on to your flight is going to help you stay more comfortable in the air and through the rest of the process. So we're aiming to depart for our trip healthy, feeling fit, feeling good and strong, feeling confident, and then getting on the flight, getting to the airport early, making sure that you've gone through the gear list. You're not feeling stressed about everything. You feel like you've gotten everything we've asked you to bring, and you've consulted with us if you have questions, and you're feeling like you're prepared and ready to go on your flight. You do have a long flight. It is good during your flight to make sure that you're hydrating. So drinking, fluids. You can bring a refillable water bottle into the airport and then fill it up in the airport. So you're hydrating, you have water on the plane, you're getting water during your journey on these longer flights. And then getting up and walking around the plane a little bit is always good, to not just sit and sit endlessly for hours on end. Even if you can just walk up and down the aisles a little bit, getting up to use the restroom and that kind of thing. It's good to get up and get your body moving a little bit. These are really long flights, so walk around as you can. Also, one of the things that we see when people do these long flights is oftentimes some people I notice suffer with constipation after they first arrive. So better hydration, maybe some high fiber type snacks on the flight, and that kind of thing is going to help you after you arrive over in Kathmandu. When you do arrive in Kathmandu, Kathmandu is an area that we can see things that are very foreign to us coming from the United States, and also encounter things that are foreign there in the environment and things that can affect our body and our health. Obviously, when we first get to Kathmandu, you only want to drink bottled water, sealed bottled water. We provide at Worldwide Trekking always cases and cases of water for our group while they're in Kathmandu. So they have multiple bottles. They can make sure they're rehydrating after the long drive flight, getting ready for the trip, washing their teeth with bottled water. Only bottled water in Kathmandu. It's also important to have good nutrition and eat. We pick the restaurants that we take our groups to. You are over there on your own, you definitely want to go to more touristy restaurants that are busy and popular, that have a lot of food service, a lot of Western clientele. That thing's going to help. I usually go easy on salads and things like that. We want vegetables that are peeled and cooked, fruits that can be peeled. Less likely to eat something that I can't peel and isn't cooked and that kind of thing. But the restaurants we bring our groups to are usually on the safe side, but I'd say that everybody's different. So depending on how much you've traveled, how much your body has experienced different cultures and different types of bacteria and things, best to venture safely in Kathmandu. Another thing is, in Kathmandu, the air quality can be poor. Certain times they've got an inversion type layer going on, and there's a lot of traffic with cars and dust that kicks up and things like that. I try to avoid extended periods out really running around the city too much. We do our cultural tour, of course, and we go out for meals and we venture out. But if the air quality is poor, take note and take care of yourself, because the idea is that prior to going on the trek, during the flight, in Kathmandu, you're setting yourself up for success on your base camp trek, right? So you want to try to stay as healthy as you can. In Kathmandu, any meals that you eat, anything, you want to be washing your hands thoroughly with soap and water. You've been out walking around, you stop for lunch, wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water. Also having hand sanitizer on you. Anytime I'm going to eat something, I'll re-sanitize my hands, wash my hands, sanitize my hands, and make sure that I'm not putting my hands in my mouth and having bacteria that I picked up in the street go into my body and making me uncomfortable. But bottled water, taking care of yourself when you eat, pay attention to the air quality. These are all things in the couple days you have to prepare for your trek in Kathmandu that are going to be really essential to making you comfortable during your trek. So if we can stay healthy through those three processes, now we're ready for our trek. And as we're ready for our trek, I think as a note, the body is going to have to acclimatize. Say we were in Kathmandu, wherever you come from in the States, and get over there, and Kathmandu is about 4,600 feet. So generally not high altitude. Then we fly from Kathmandu and we land to start our trek, and we're over 8,000 feet, maybe 8,500 feet. Now we're a little higher altitude, typically not considerably high or anything people should feel discomfort with, but soon into our trek, after the first night, the second day, we're going to make our way into Namche Bazaar, 11,500 feet, okay? So when you go to that altitude, it's one thing to be at a ski resort in the western United States where they can be up to 11,000 feet or so. It's another thing to sleep there and stay there, right? So we want to venture slowly on our journey each day. As a rule with our groups, we get up and have breakfast early, we pack up, we get on the trail early so we can really take our time each day, walking slowly, going slower than we think we might need to, right? It's not a race. We're trying to just go and let our body adjust slowly into the altitude that we're trekking in. So we want to proceed slowly, stop, take breaks. We want to hydrate, drink fluids. We want to make sure that we're stopping for lunch, we're eating, we're drinking, we're moving slowly, we're sanitizing our hands when we're eating. All these things are going to help us stay healthy. On a long journey like this, it's really important to mind that regularly all the time. Just every day you get in the routine of hydration in the morning. So I drink a liter of water in the morning. I drink a liter on the trail till lunch. I drink another liter from lunch to the next tea house, and I drink another liter when I get to the tea house. So there it's going to be 3 to 4 liters a day. Should be plenty of water. You don't need to overhydrate, but you definitely don't want to underhydrate. Some people have a hard time drinking just straight water. So if that's the case, I usually myself bring those little packets. You can buy them in the pharmacy, at your grocery store usually. They're called Emergency. Emergency doesn't add a lot of sugar and a lot of flavor. They're very small to pack. I put some in a Ziploc bag, and that takes a little bit of the water and makes it have a little flavor, a little raspberry, a little orange, something like that. And a lot of times that helps people drink their water. Also, they're loaded with vitamins, which always helps, and electrolytes, which is always good to have. So that being said, I think that with your water on the trek, of course, you're not drinking bottled water the whole time. Bottled water's, a lot of plastic waste. It's quite expensive. It adds up. You can't carry it. At Worldwide Trekking, we have a large expedition filter. You should only be drinking filtered water on the trek and or boiled water. We tend to have filtered boiled water on our trek for Worldwide Trekking. So want to be hydrating, want to be drinking regularly, want to be keeping good nutrition, and you want to really consider your pace. You want to go slower than you think you should be. And if you're not in a rush each day, you get an early start, you just start making your way down the trail, you take breaks, you go at a really slow, steady pace. It's going to help your body adjust as you ascend into altitude, and it's going to help you feel more comfortable. You have a nice lunch break, you eat, you snack, you drink some fluids, and you proceed on to the next village and the next tea house for the night. We want to make sure that we're dressing warm in the tea houses. I oftentimes know that I see groups of people and I'll see them come out and be really lightly dressed. When I get to the tea house, I generally take off all the trekking wear that I have. It's dusty and dirty from the trail. I air that out of my room, shake it outside, whatever, get it all kind of drying up for the next day, because you're wearing items regularly again and again. I wash up, I clean up, I put on fresh, warm, comfortable clothes for the evening, and I make sure that I have something on my feet so I don't catch a draft anywhere. I make sure that I've got a good torso layer, maybe a beanie hat, that kind of thing. Rooms aren't heated. The common areas are heated with a fireplace. If you notice that that's bothering your throat, the dry fireplace, burning, then go to your room and get in your sleeping bag and take a rest. Get the rest when you can. Oftentimes people don't sleep well at altitude, especially when they're acclimatizing. So when you can get rest, take your rest. You want to, have a nice evening in the tea house, have a good dinner, make sure you're hydrating well, make sure that you're cleaning your hands regularly when you eat. And then if it's after dinner, turn in, get in your sleeping bag, get comfortable, get a good night's sleep. If you wake up in the night and you don't and you're tossing and turning a little bit, don't get all stressed out. Just lay there and relax and think of nice, happy thoughts, and soon enough you'll be drifting back to sleep, hopefully. And if you don't sleep very well, understand that that's part of the acclimatization process, and rest your body. Don't feel stressed in your sleeping bag thinking about I'm not sleeping and I can't be up all night. I'm going to be tired tomorrow and all those things. Just rest and relax and rest your body lying there comfortably in a warm sleeping bag. It is important to have a good sleeping bag that's warm enough rated. We recommend 0 to minus 20 degree bag, and not that it's going to get that cold, but you want to be warm in your sleeping bag. You want to be comfortable so your body takes rest. The same when you go out into the dining room. Bring the big puffy jacket. You can always shed a layer if there's a lot of people in there and it's warmed up. When you leave the main common area and go down to your tea house room, that's definitely not going to be heated. Put on the warm jacket, stay warm, stay comfortable, and stay healthy throughout the trek. Other than that, I think it's really important to make sure that you're taking a couple double days during the trek. We typically take 2 days after the trek starts. We have our first night. The second night, we're in Namche Bazaar at 11,500 feet. We stay there for 2 days 2 nights to let our body catch up and adjust to the altitude. On the rest day, the acclimatization day, we do a tour around. We go to the monastery. We have a special blessing. We go up to the museum and the Sherpa Cultural Center and have lunch out, relax in the afternoon, maybe watch the documentary movie that's going on in town, things like that. We get out on our feet, move around. We don't overdo it, but we don't just sit around all day and do nothing. And then a couple days later, when we get to about 14,000 feet, depending on your trip, your schedule, and the group, some people go through Dingboche on the way up. We tend to go through Farache on the way up, both around 14,000 feet. We do another double night up in that altitude, again, to let our body adjust to the altitude and to acclimatize, and then have a double night there. We do a bit of a hike the second day, come back down, have an afternoon, relaxing, catching up before we venture higher the following day. You can expect to not feel 100% of the time on the trek. Okay, it is a difficult journey. Your body's acclimatizing. You have the simple signs of AMS, some fatigue, some headaches, some nausea, maybe, things like that, sluggish appetite, restless sleep. All these things are the body acclimatizing. Just best to not stress about it, take care of yourself, and to make sure that you are being as comfortable as you can, so you can just keep proceeding forward and accomplish your goal on trekking into Mount Everest Base Camp. At Worldwide Trekking, we do a medical check every day. A lot of times it's to assure our guests that they're on track, to notice that some things are in their body not perfect, but also to know that that's quite common and that they'll feel better, and they do, and we motivate them and encourage them, and we do it together. Another thing that's good to do on your trek to base camp is bring yourself a little medical kit. And this is a medical kit, sure, some band-aids and a couple little things, blister patches, a couple little things like that. But I'm going to talk a few things that I buy that are just over-the-counter meds that are better to have on my trek than to try to find in a remote village or in Kathmandu or something like that. So in a medical kit from here, I'm going to talk just about the over-the-counter medications that you can have. You can pack them up in a Ziploc bag. You can pack them up in a little case like I just showed you. But the important thing is that I take them out of all their boxes and I put them in something that condenses them with size and weight, and they're a little easier to deal with. So a few things that I bring are some Pepto-Bismol tablets. This Pepto-Bismol, you get a little stomach irritation, not feeling right, the gases in your stomach are moving around a little bit, maybe you ate something that doesn't 100% agree with you, you are far from home, eating different things. Little Pepto-Bismol is good to have. Along with that, a little anti-diarrheal, like an Imodium AD, good to have. Traveler's diarrhea is not totally uncommon, so a little Imodium AD is good to have. I usually bring a little bit of cold and cough, AM and PM, so the orange ones for the daytime, the green ones for the nighttime, and the dry, dusty air up there can give people a little bit of cough, a little or a big cough, that kind of thing. But that's going to help you if you're not feeling 100% and maybe you get a little congestion and that kind of thing. Another good thing to bring is some throat lozenges. I notice that people do get dry throat from the dry air, especially when you get up to around Farache and higher up in the Khumbu. It's dry. It's big, wide open valleys. The dust can be blowing. You can pull that neck gaiter up over your mouth and protect your mouth from breathing in dusty air. I also notice that some people get irritated eyes. So a little bit of Visine, a little bit of eye drops can help you feel more comfortable there. And of course, I'm always wearing my sunglasses. I'm always kind of tucked up and making sure I'm comfortable. And then a couple more things. Never a bad idea to have a little bit of ibuprofen, perfectly fine to take at altitude, whether it's sore knees, a little bit of a headache, some other uncomfortable muscles or something. Again, it's going to help you take rest. I oftentimes bring some stool softener. I do notice that a fair amount of people, especially after the long flight over, get constipated. But again, hydration, some good fiber, getting up and walking around, those things can help you there as well. But those are just a couple over-the-counter meds. In another video, I'll go over the acclimatization process. I'll talk about some prescription meds that you can bring. But I think if you bring some of those basic over-the-counter meds, take them out of their big boxes, condense them down into something very small. If you do feel uncomfortable, you can help yourself feel a little bit better with some basic over-the-counter meds and continue the journey. You're not always going to feel 100%. But you can push through, you can make the trek to Everest Base Camp, and it can be a lot more comfortable if you think about preparing yourself for the journey, the flight over, the days in Kathmandu, setting yourself up for success on the trek, and taking care of yourself each day and at all times along the way. I hope you have a great trip to Nepal and your trek to Mount Everest Base Camp. As always, if you have any questions, let us know. We're always happy to help. I'm always happy to jump on a Zoom call and consult you on anything that you're thinking about for your trek to Mount Everest Base Camp. Thanks again, and thanks for watching. We always appreciate when you like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps us out. Thank you.